Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger, and the patch notes are now out for Dragon Ball FighterZ. This is the balance patch. Now, I gotta give you a big caveat before we go over any of this here. So, they are only in Japanese, and these have very thankfully been translated by Hyago XYZ, as Hyago has also done translation for stuff previously in the past, so thank you very much to them. But some of the language is not fully clear. It is a lot more clear than Google Translate, that's say the least of which, right? But right now, there are certain things that are open to interpretation. So we're going to go over the entire thing here, and certain things are just not going to be clear, I'm sorry to say. Now, with that said, when the patch is live on the main servers and we can see what the changes mean, in real game terms, I will be doing a follow-up video to this video showing everything, how it works in game with the changes, so visual guide like I have done in the past. So on anything that the wording's a little iffy on, please check in, hopefully in a day or two we'll have that up and we can go over all that stuff. So without any further ado, let's start with the patch. So now let's start with the universal stuff here before we get to the character specific. So stand light light light, that's the auto combo ender. Says now can be followed up with a Z change. So right now as it currently stands, if you try to Z change off it, it usually just misses. It doesn't really matter who you are, it just kind of always just misses, so that will always work now. And will always launch the opponent forward on hit. Now, that, I do gotta wonder, some characters like Broly actually launch a guy backwards, but we'll see on that one, I guess. Jump light, fixed the bug where the auto combo wouldn't work if you hit the opponent from a very low height. Jump heavy, opponent's falling speed on the smash hit has been increased, so when you do your jumping move like that, they'll fall to the ground quicker than they currently slide. Could have balance implications. Sliding knockdown time has been decreased, once again going with the former, balance implications potentially. Can only be followed up with a Z change when done from a ground auto combo. Aerial Dragon Rushes, opponent's falling speed when the opponent hit mid-combo has been increased, so once again, they will hit the ground quicker. For hurt boxes here, all non-attacking crouching hurt boxes and movement hurt boxes have been adjusted. So long story short, all hurt boxes while crouching and walking around, those are different. Vanish now has a proper minimum damage value. Ki Blast, fixed a bug where proration wouldn't count if the opponent got hit by Ki Blast while in the middle of an attack, so basically if it counter hit them. Assist type special moves fix an issue. If the special move leapt over the opponent, their blocking stance would face the opposite direction. So Ginyu stand S here, 236S, this is the self cross up with Guldo, Nappa Cyberman Vomit, and so on and so forth. So basically trying to cancel a lot of the cross ups. Button settings, you can now enable or disable easy dash. That's forward and heavy and Ki Blast button here. That's the shortcut for that. And also if you're on the ground, shortcut for dash, so you can have that off by default if you want. I wouldn't, I actually use it a fair bit. Also, you can change easy Z change macro between pressing forward or down in assist, or disabling it altogether. So no more accidentally getting your assist being a tag instead while you're running forward. So now you can do it while down assist, or you can just remove it altogether. Moving on to the character specific stuff, let's start here with Super Saiyan Goku. So stand light light light, that's the final hit of the auto combo. Hitbox has been increased. Jumping 2H is this guy here. He will now travel further forward while doing it, not launching people forward as some people initially thought here. Jumping stand S, that's this guy here. The initial attack hitbox has been increased. 236X, that's the Dragon Fist here, light, medium, heavy. Damage increased across the board here. Adjusted the properties on smash hit, they don't say how. Adjusted the air version's hitbox, hopefully for the better. And adjusted the falling speed when hitting an airborne opponent with it, so they now fall to the ground faster. Now, once again, coped with the fact that sliding knockdown time is less. If you're at the very height of a combo and you do something like this, it almost makes me wonder, with the faster fall and they hit the ground faster, thus the sliding knockdown has shorter time, you will have a near impossible time getting to level 3. That's, well, we'll find out soon enough, I guess. Quarter circle forward, L specifically, increase the active frames on the light version, and now triggers a smash hit. So if it hits solo, will trigger a smash just like its brother, the medium, I suppose. Going on to that, the EX version, that's the one with the teleport, adjusted the position where Goku appears, doesn't say where. Startup changes depending on how far Goku is from the opponent. Shorter startup when the opponent is taking damage mid-air, so if you're using it in the combo, I guess it'll have a faster startup. Can buffer supers when the ground version hits the opponent. As it currently stands, you can kind of already do that, so I'm not sure what that means. Grounded version no longer has the jump property. So if you somehow manage to hit the grounded version, you could down heavy that. Count it as an aerial move for the grounded version. Now, the aerial version will still be an aerial attack, but for the grounded version, you can no longer down heavy it and get those invincibility frames against it. So that's a buff. The 214X series, so that's quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy. So increase the untechable time. I'm assuming that means the hit stun. Adjusted recovery and removed the landing recovery. So it might have longer recovery in the air, but it'll no longer have landing recovery when you hit the ground. If so, that's a fair enough trade. Increased damage, awesome. Increased proration, meaning if you start a combo with it, I guess it'll do less damage overall if you start the combo with it. Adjusted the properties on smash hit. No idea what that means, because we don't know. Maybe it'll launch him down, maybe it'll launch him up, or whatever it's going to be, we don't know for sure. Grounded version no longer has a jump attack property, so once again, just like the EX punch here. So if you start on the ground, it will not count as an airborne move for the purposes of down heavying it or any move that's labeled as an anti-air, so that's definitely a buff. Quarter circle back light now travels further on use, awesome, that's definitely a buff. Adjusted the ground version's hit properties against a grounded opponent. It doesn't really say what that means, but it might, maybe, speculating, leave them standing. If so, that'd be an awesome change. Quarter circle forward S, that's the Kamehameha. So fix an issue where not successfully hitting all the hits would increase the recovery. So that is just a bug fix, I suppose, here. And 214 LM, that is the level 3. Adjusted properties on hit. Here's what that means. I guess we'll find out when the patch hits, because definitely don't know right now. Super Saiyan Vegeta, so it says here, teching, adjusting the teching time, not sure. Jumping ass here, so adjusted the time for the Ki Blast to start traveling, it doesn't say if it's faster or slower. Decrease the opponent's blowback on hit, meaning they'll be hit a little further back less, so they'll be closer to you after the initial hits are done than they currently are right now. Initial attack hitbox increased, hey, that sounds good to me. For the 2-3X series, so that's quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy, the dive kicks. Adjusted the properties on a smash hit. So like say this one here, the medium, it gets a wall bounce. Anyone else? Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out when it comes out, the patch. But we don't know right now. Now going on into some specificity here. So the light version here, delayed the vanish window. So I'm assuming that means you can't do that right away, which was an easy kind of scam move to catch people off guard here. So it looks like you won't be able to vanish just quite as quick as you used to. Also for the quarter circle forward M here, decrease the air version's recovery. You kind of didn't have awesome recovery as it stands, so that's kind of a weird change. Now going to the uppercuts here, quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy. Increase the air version's recovery yet again. So I guess it's to slightly lessen the game plan of just, you know, doing this kind of stuff, frustrating the opponent, then going for the air uppercut. For the medium and heavy version specifically here, for the uppercut, the opponent's falling speed after the final hit has been increased. This seems to be a running change for a lot of the characters. And sliding knockdown time on hit also reduced. Now for jumping to L, that's the dive kick. Now only comes out if you press down and L. So the diagonals here, like down back or down forward, that won't work. Has increased the recovery here, which kind of sucks because there's a lot of cool combos that actually utilize that with sparking. So we'll see how that turns out, I guess. Adjusted the traveling distance, hopefully for the better. Won't ground bounce when the opponent is hit airborne from low heights, which basically, on top of the previous change there, it basically kills the combo structure with dive kicks. No longer hits behind Vegeta. Now, I didn't even know that did hit behind Vegeta, but I guess that's going to be gone. So 236S, we got a lot better move on our hands here, because increased damage, increased meter gain, faster startup, decreased hit stop, increased the grounded version, specifically not the aerial version, untechable time, meaning more hit stun, adjusted the opponent's blowback on grounded version, doesn't say in what way though, adjusted the timing for the Ki Blast to start traveling in the air version, and the air version's initial hitbox has been decreased. So this move, I'm not going to say it was dead weight, but it wasn't really that good. Because if it didn't hit the enemy initially, they are free just to jump up and homing dash, get a free punish, right? So yeah, definitely better move all around. Quarter circle forward, heavy and special. So that's the one in the air where it angles downwards, the big bang attack. So the air version now ground bounces on hit. That should lead to some new fun combo structure. Increased the air version's time window for the ultimate Z change, and decreased, unfortunately, the minimum damage it'll do. So now also going to the final flash. So adjusted the opponent's blowback on hit, decrease the untech time, meaning the enemy's hit stun time here. Now unable to move while landing and falls faster using the air version. So as stated before here, the enemy will no longer be able to air recover after it being done in the air. So it's always going to land in a sliding knockdown, unlike the time they can currently recover right now. For Piccolo, Stand H, the attack hitbox has been increased upward, so it'll have a higher hitting hitbox while retaining the current hitbox it still already has. Jumping H, this guy right here, decreased damage. So overall his B&B structure is going to go a little down in damage, which is unfortunate. Standing S, down S, jumping S, that's all the grabs here. Increased proration, meaning if you start a combo with this, it's going to do less damage than it currently does, but increase the base damage of the move itself. For 6S, 3S here, that is the two electrical beam attacks here. So has decreased the hit stop and also unable to Z change cancel on whiff. So that has to do with a little bug I made a video about a very long time ago, so that'll be changed. Quarter circle back series, light, medium, heavy. The input directions are now uniform when canceling into supers, and the grounded version's guard point, so it did have a hit of armor, no longer tanks the sparking activation, so cannot stop a sparking blast. That's a pretty big call out if you can get it. So for the specific ones here, for quarter circle back light in the air, if you manage to start a combo with this, you will do less damage thanks to increased proration. And for the medium one, if you manage to start with the air one, you'll have less proration, meaning you'll do more damage overall. For the EX one here, the air version, increased damage of the move itself, increase the starting proration, so you'll do less damage if you start a combo with it, and increase the sliding knockdown time for the aerial version. So for quarter circle forward S, that is the fireball here, the homing fireball. Startup decreases when the opponent is mid-combo airborne, so if you manage to have them juggle, the move will have faster startup than it currently does, and adjusted the properties on smash hit. Also, increase the untechable time, meaning more hit stun. That with the previous change means it's going to be a lot better for combos. Increase opponent's blowback on hit, so it's mostly going to be for corner stuff for combos. And recovery now increases if the opponent is hit right after the move comes out. So with the other giants, I don't know, it seems to be kind of tempering it so it's not like a crazy combo move. But all things equal, definitely seems to improve combo move overall. Also, for the Hellzone Grenade, quarter circle forward, heavy, and S, decrease the interval between each projectile one being fired. This might mess up with some combos if the timing is different. And adjusted the properties for the final hit of the combo. So that's a wait and see. We're going to have to see how that works in a real match situation. But kind of reads as a nerf. And finally, the assist here, much the same as the base move, increase untechable time, meaning the hit's done, and increase blowback on hit. Tien Gohan, so first thing here, aerial hurt box. So the hurt box when falling has been increased upwards. That's going to be, so it's a little bit easier to hit in some combos. That's an issue with some of the smaller characters. Stand light, specifically, decrease the time window to cancel the stand light on whiff. So that guy right there. Stand light, decrease landing recovery. So you'll basically get a lot more use out of it. A lot of people are not fans of the change when this change happened, so it seems to be dialing that back just a little bit here. Stand light, that's the auto combo ender here. Adjusted the travel distance, now faces the opponent's direction. So I'm going to assume it's just either you stay same side or the auto face is better than it currently is, because it isn't awesome. And increase the startup time. So down light. Initial attack hitbox increase, so mostly the move is just better than it currently is. The quarter circle forward X series, so that's the various forms of the kicks here. So can now be followed up with on the H button, which I'm not sure because you can already do that already. You can now follow up even if the opponent is hit by the last active frame. So before you hit this kind of super meaty, you couldn't really follow up with it. That is now changed. Decrease the hitbox upward, so the hitbox is slightly nerfed. And fixed an issue where the timing for using Vanish on the smash hit was quote-unquote weird. Also for the quarter circle forward series here, decrease the last hit's recovery, that's this guy here. Decrease the opponent's blowback on the last hit, because as you notice here, when you do it, they kind of go from full screen from each other. And full screen's a range where Tien Gohan just doesn't work at, so I guess they'll be a little bit closer. And increase the untechable time, meaning the time before the enemy can tech you out, so hit's done, on the last hit. Also going from there, so specifically the light version, adjusted the landing recovery, now falls to the ground when he hits the opponent. As it currently stands, I believe he is just airborne for just like a frame or something like that, so that is different. For the medium and heavy EX versions, remove the jump property, meaning if they do it on the ground, won't count as a down heavyable move. Adjusted the traveling distance, lowered Gohan's Ida on activation, because as you can see here, he's a little high up when he does it, right? So he'll be lower to the ground, and adjusted the landing recovery. Now for quarter circle back heavy, that is specifically the EX version of the uppercut. Adjusted the hit properties for when the smash effect does not trigger, and increased the untechable time for when the smash effect does not trigger. So it might be for the Gohan EX loop combo, is not quite sure. Quarter circle forward light here, you can now hold either light, medium, or heavy after the initial move to keep on kicking. Now attacks before landing. Increased landing recovery, adjusted the blowback on hit based on your height, so how far away they'll be knocked back is dependent on their height relative to you. Increase the untechable time, so more hits done. Decrease the travel distance, and can now buffer with supers on landing. For the medium version here, decrease damage, decrease meter gain, that is. Kind of an unwelcome nerf, I'd say, and no one really complained about that. And for the medium and heavy versions here, adjust the travel distance, so now leaps a bit after the opponent blocks it, increase recovery, and adjust the properties on the smash hit. The quarter circle forward level 1 super here. So it says here, adjusted the hit properties when close to the opponent. So that could mean just about anything, but hopefully that is a buff. Also for the assist, and the assist is the uppercut, just so you know, now appears a bit further ahead than before when the opponent is close to you or when the opponent's taking damage in midair. So it'll be, I guess, a bit more like Android 16. He already appeared a bit ahead of you here. As you can see here, I guess he'll appear even further yet ahead of you, just like Android 16. Frieza has a bunch of changes here. So first up here, aerial hurtbox. So hurtbox when falling has been increased upwards. Once again, just for small, thin characters, they don't have uniformity with combos with some characters. Some characters can do everything on most of the cast, but not some of the small, slender characters. So that's just making everything a little more universal. The aerial Dragon Rush. Adjusted the travel distance when you're snapbacked. I'm not sure on that one. You guys might have a little more insight on me than this one here. Stand light. Decrease startup, so it's a frame faster. It's a 6-frame move now. Increase the travel distance, so it also goes further. That's pretty good. Stand light. That's this guy here. Longer time window for canceling into 5 LLL. Stand light on whiff. That's this guy right here. And for down light, decrease startup, so it's a frame faster. Really good. Down medium, this guy here. Decrease the initial hit stop, and increase travel distance, so it'll move further. Stand H. It's one of his better moves. Increase the first hit's active frames. Decrease the first hit's hit stop on block. Decrease the first hit's hit back, and increase the initial attack hitbox. So overall, it's just a better move. Also for Stand H here, the projectiles disappear when you cancel into a vanish. So no more of these shenanigans here. Won't let you do that no more. Decrease the block stun, and also increase the buffer time for when the effect triggers. So if you're trying to like cancel into a special move or whatever, you just have more time to do it. Standing S here, decrease the last hit, the final hit of the hold S, untechable time, so basically the hit stun on it. Jumping medium, this guy here. Decrease the first hit's hit stop, decrease the first hit's hit box, so less of a hitbox on the first hit, decrease the startup, so it does happen faster, reduce the blowback, and adjusted the move speed in an auto combo. Jumping down heavy here, have adjusted the travel distance, it doesn't say in what way though, sadly, and now triggers a smash hit on airborne opponents. So, as it currently stood, it was like one of the few reliable ways to get kind of a knockdown, like a sliding knockdown for Frieza, and I guess it might be a little bit better at that in certain situations. Jumping to S, that's this guy here. Increase the hitbox, so just a better move. Quarter circle forward series, so light, medium, heavy, that is the Pillar of Doom. So decreased recovery, so he will recover quicker, that's pretty good. Decrease the hit stop on block. So the scream will just stop a little bit less than it currently does. And change the time window for a vanish cancel. Now, I'm not sure on that. You can vanish cancel pretty late on hit. But I guess not super late on a hit confirm if you're just looking for a single hit confirm. So maybe that'll be a little bit better and might be a buff for him. So for quarter circle light and medium versions specifically, decreased the untechable time. Meaning the opponent can actually get out of this faster than they could before. Quarter circle forward S, that is the big ball of doom here. So increase the hitbox, decrease the first hit's blowback on hit, decrease the recovery on whiff, that's really big because you're very dead if this misses. Decrease the block stun, decrease the untakeable time for the projectile part of the move, and faster startup on the ground version, which is awesome because the ground version was basically useless. So quarter circle back S, that is the pizza slicers here. So faster startup, awesome, it's not a really fast move. Decreased the recovery, so once again you recover even faster, but added proration. So if you start a combo with this, your combo will do less damage than it currently does right now. Quarter circle forward light medium, that is the Death Ball Super. Fix an issue where the minimum damage would change sometimes, so it's kind of just normalized. Quarter circle back light medium, that is his level 3. Adjusted hit properties, doesn't say in what way. Adjusted blowback on hit, adjusted the speed in which your opponent is hit, and now harder to hit opponents behind you. Did have a weird hitbox where it can like, just cause situations where it looks like it couldn't hit, but it did, so that'll be changed. And quarter circle back HS, that is Golden Frieza. Adjusted the meter penalty time after using it, so I'm assuming this is what everyone wants. So Golden Frieza, I feel, was unfairly changed by the meter gain nerf. As you can see here, my meter gain is basically nothing after all these hits, right? So I believe Golden Frieza might finally recover bar a lot quicker than other people after spending meter, which I think is very fair, considering you're burning 3 bars for a transformation. Captain Ginyu. So first up here, Dragon Rush. So when he's Dragon Rushing someone mid-combo, so not the launch version, but the kind where, you know, you can hit and cancel into super on hit on combo, you are now allowed to cancel into Ginyu Force moves on the hit's completion. So that's potentially going to open up new combo routes. So stand light light. That is specifically this guy here, the double hitter. So adjusted blowback on hit. Second hit will come out faster now if the first hit is confirmed, and decrease the first hit's hit stop. Stand heavy. Here's an interesting one here. So stand heavy is the big old spin to win here. So you can now hold it. Some characters are allowed to hold their stand heavy, like say Broly, and he will apparently go further. I'm assuming it doesn't really say what you can do while holding it, but going farther, doing more damage is what I would assume. Also, if you hold back while charging it, it will change the travel distance. For jumping light, that's the double hitter here. So adjusted blowback on hit. Second hit will come out faster if the first hit confirms, making it much better for just kind of fishing in neutral here, trying to catch people airborne. Making it one of the better moves for it now, honestly, in my opinion. And the second hit won't be an overhead if the first one confirms. So if you block the first one here on the ground, and the second one comes out, you don't have to block the second hit overhead. It'll just be a mid. Standing S and jumping S. They will not come out if you're holding back. So if you're on the ground anyways, you kind of get a reflect, but in the air, if you're holding back and trying to block and you hit it, it just won't come out. So you can use it like time yourself and that kind of stuff. So specifically, the stand S, jump S version of Recoome. That is the big old knee here. So that will have increased hit stop. So you'll have a little bit more time to react if it connects. So jumping S after a body change, says here, increased recovery and keeps momentum after the last movement. I'm brutally honest, I'm not sure what that means. For Ginyu Force moves here, when the Ginyu Force assists and the opponent's positions collide, the assist position will be slightly different now. My understanding is it's basically to kill this kind of cross-up stuff here. So the Ginyu Force calls don't count as actual assists, so they are not granted left-right protection for blocking. So you can do that kind of stuff, and it will work. So if you didn't immediately block cross-up, you got hit by Galdo, and then obviously get a full combo. So I believe that's what the change is. Now also, forward blowback added on hit here, adjusted timing for vanish canceling, and when used mid-air, now less prone to land mid-startup. Now here, I think either it's a translation error or an error just in the patch notes themselves, because it says here 236S added a new command for Ginyu Force moves. Not sure what it is, unless it means like quarter circle back S or whatever. We have been told that everyone's going to get a new function for the Ginyu Force. Now it says specifically Recoome here, 236S here, so that is the Miracle Launcher here, the Miracle Beam. So if you hold it, it will no longer change the move's property. So if you hold it before you get Miracle Fighting Bomber here, so that must be moved to whatever the new function is for the Ginyu Force, I'm assuming. And also the Beam will have faster startup, blowback on hit adjusted, increase hit stop, increase damage, increase proration, and invulnerable, the Ki Blast. So it doesn't state if he's invulnerable while he's standing there. If so, that'd be a pretty awesome change. Quarter circle forward S Birder. That's the one where he goes across the screen here. Increase the move's hurt box, meaning they'll be a little bit easier to smack him out of the air. And Birder's attacks won't hit the opponent if they're far from each other. Now that one I'm not too sure about, because if you're far from each other, you're not going to hit each other anyway, so I'm just going to assume it means they have decreased the hitbox on it just a little bit. Especially considering the rumored patch notes say he'll now also, in the alternate version, be able to do this across the ground. That seems only fair enough. Quarter circle forward S after a body change says you can now use it after quarter circle forward, like medium heavy. You can already do this anyways, unless it was a glitch if you body change another Ginyu. I'm not quite sure on that one. Speaking of that, quarter circle forward M, specifically here, that's medium tackle, faster startup on the grounded version, and adjusted properties on hit. Doesn't say what exactly is adjusted though. Hopefully not for the worst, because for corner stuff, that's where a lot of the fun begins. For the EX version, also adjusted properties on hit. For the assist, decrease blowback on hit, meaning they won't launch quite as far away. And for body change, it says here faster startup. So this could be beginning of a whole bunch of new body change combos. Trunks here, stand light. Decrease the travel distance, so it will not go as far as it currently does. Stand light here, increase the hitbox and collision box upwards. Fix an issue where the conditions for a smash effect differed from the other characters. Not sure what that means, to be honest with you here. So 2H, down H. Unable to cancel into stand S. So basically no free get out of dodge here if you kind of overcommit on a block string. Jumping H. Increase the blowback on a smash hit. Standing S here. Decreased recovery when hitting an opponent. So when hitting, not when they block. And increase the buffer time so you can buffer into specials better. Jumping S here, also increase the buffer time. Quarter circle forward series, light, medium, heavy here. Increase travel distance on all the sword moves here. Adjusted landing time on smash hit. Adjusted the properties on smash hit. And increase damage for the grounded versions. So if you do it on the ground, not if you do it in the air. Also, increase the recovery of them. Specifically for the EX version, it'll now have faster startup as well. So the quarter circle back series, that's light, medium, heavy, fixed an issue where you couldn't perform certain Gatlings after inputting additional commands. Increase the buffer time for inputting an additional command, so being able to like do normals out of it and that kind of stuff here. Increase the time window to be able to cancel the other commands. So basically it's easier to do moves out of it. Also here, now able to cancel the grounded version into the aerial version, which is pretty cool actually. So if you're doing it, you can basically do a grounded version into the aerial version. However, you are now unable to use it more than once in the air, but now the aerial version does not burn your jump. So if you do something like this here and flip in the air, you have used up your secondary jump, right? So now you can do it, flip, and then jump again afterwards. So it's going to make a lot of the combos for Trunks' flips a lot easier than the way I'm reading it. Also for the EX version here, you can now increase your travel distance a lot more than it currently is. Also here, quarter circle back here, flip into the beam. That's jumping S here. Increase the untechable time, meaning the time hit stun, which means they'll make the combos a lot easier yet again. Faster startup, increase recovery, increase the buffer time. So quarter circle back, light, medium, that is the level 3. Decrease the active frames, so it'll actually start quicker than it currently does. Adjusted travel distance, adjusted blowback on hit, and adjusted Trunks' position after hitting the opponent. So this could be your buffer nerf. He has decent Oki after it, but depending on what that distance change is, it could be a lot better or a lot worse. For the assist, decrease the untechable time, meaning less hit stun than it currently has, decrease blowback on hit, and now appears in a different position if you're in the corner. So currently, if you're in the corner, he appears right in front of you, so he might appear from a little further back and then do it. Not quite sure. Cell. So Cell, stand light here, decrease the active frames, but also faster startup, so it's going to go back to being a 6-frame move. Stand light, that's this guy here. Increase the travel distance when you're holding 4. So if you're, I don't know, it's a weird one, honestly. If you're currently holding 4, you're not allowed to do the move, so maybe you can now? But it says here, decreases the travel distance if you hold 2. So just not sure. It doesn't work either of those ways as it stands right now, so I'll have to wait and see on that one. The auto combo ender here, the bear hug here, increase the vertical distance between Cell and the opponent when grabbed, increase the buffer time for a super dash, because you are able to super dash after that. Increase the untechable time, so more hits done. Decrease the active frames, so it might get rid of the couple gimmicks where you use block stun, like a low block stun move like Trunks, to overwrite the second hit's block stun and get a free grab out of it. Fixed an issue where the interaction looked off when you use Vanish on a specific timing. Can't say I've ever seen it, but hey, I guess that's gone. Down light, also a frame faster than it was before. Down S, this guy here, adjusted the time it takes until landing and overall recovery frames. Jumping S, this guy here, startup is now faster when used after a smash triggering jumping H, that guy there. Quarter circle forward series, light, medium, heavy, adjusted properties on hit, doesn't say how or why, so I guess we'll have to find out when the patch goes live. Light specifically, triggers a smash effect on last hit, so no more light bounce, it'll be like the medium the way I'm reading it. Also here, increased startup on the air version, meaning it'll be maybe slightly worse for combos. Increase the fall speed on the air version, and increase the opponent's blowback in the air version. For the EX version here, increase the untechable time, and faster startup on the aerial version. Quarter circle forward S, that is his beam, so fix an issue where the grounded version would have increased recovery unless all the hits were confirmed. Fix an issue where the aerial version, once again, would have more recovery unless all the hits were confirmed. And increased hit stop for the aerial version. Also adjusted the air version's blowback on hit, doesn't say how or why. And increased, it's crazy, the hitbox for the air version. Like, this is almost the best beam in the game, considering how much of the screen it owns and for free. So increasing the hitbox on this, I guess, sure, whatever. Quarter circle back H, that's this guy here, the perfect attack, DX. So increase quarter circle back EX here, heavy. That's that guy right there. Change the last hit's behavior on hit. Now, not sure what the change is. Pretty easy to get touch deaths off this, so maybe that's what's different. Not sure. For the assist, increased hit stop, adjusted blowback, and increased hit box. So yeah, pretty decent to say the least. So Android 18, and she's got some changes by the way here. So stand light, this guy, and that is a light low starter by the way. Increase the travel distance, faster startup, so it's a faster move than it currently is. Can no longer Gatling into itself, meaning before you can go stand light into backstand light and get a double. So that is gone. You only get one low as it currently stands. You're not going to be able to do that. Decrease the active frames, doesn't matter because you're not going to be using it point blank. Decrease the horizontal hitbox, but increase the vertical hitbox. Second hit of the auto combo here, stand light. Increase travel distance, slower startup, adjust the hitbox and hurtbox, increase hit back, not sure what that means, increase the recovery, light, that's the auto combo finisher, increase travel distance, and increase the hitbox on the move. Stand M, increase travel distance, awesome, so it's just a better move. Stand H, adjusted the properties on a smash hit, not sure what that means, as it currently stands, it's a wall bounce though. 2M, decrease travel distance. So if you're looking to footsie someone, Stand M's definitely going to be the go-to now. Also, on down H here. So the initial attack's hitbox increase downwards. So that's going to make certain block strings a lot better for her. 2S, this guy right here. You don't really see it that often. Just a travel distance, slower start up here. Decrease block stun, which is like, why? This move actually is plus on block, just so you know, but it has a lot of caveats to it. Adjusted hit stop and increase the untechable time. Jumping M, slower startup. This is so she won't have like weird unseeable mixes. Jumping 2H, adjusted travel distance. It does not say how or why though. Jumping S, that's this guy here. Stops air momentum faster than it currently does. So this might lead to weird new corner combos. Not quite sure yet. Quarter circle forward series. Increase hurtbox on whiff. These are the grabs by the way. Opponent's position after being grabbed is now uniformed. Not sure what that means. They don't outright state. Usually you switch sides though. Increase damage, awesome, because there's not much incentive to do it. Decrease proration, meaning if you use it as like a combo starter, like for something like this or whatever, which, well, I botched it, but you get the idea, right? The combo's going to do more damage. The light version specifically, faster startup, awesome. Like she might actually get some use out of the grabs now. Decrease travel distance, decrease recovery on hit, and increase sliding knockdown time, which is really good. The medium EX versions can now hold either L, M, or H for the charge version. If you're not aware, holding the button makes the move different, so that was not held. This is held. You can see the move is different. Adjusted the input timing for the charge version. Slower startup, unfortunate. Increased hitbox. Also increased untackable time. Will now knock the opponent down for cases where it triggers smash effect. Change the timing for canceling and vanish your supers, and now able to buffer, that is, vanish and supers. So, medium EX kind of sucks, but the light grab being better, awesome. Like, anything to make these moves worthwhile, other than just dragon rushing every single time, because these were, I'm not going to say fully, but somewhat dead moves, so the light version being better, that's great. Quarter Circle Back series, that's light, medium, heavy, that's all the Android 17 calls. So first up here, adjusted the travel distance for the air version now. Ooh, this could be a buff, could be a nerf, who knows. The medium version is a very big deal for 18 to say the least here. So Quarter Circle Back light, the cancel time window for the ground version is now later. I'm not sure of the consequences of that one. Quarter Circle Back M, faster startup for the grounded version specifically. Increased landing recovery for the aerial version, which might change some combos. And air version now has a jump property move, meaning for certain anti-air attacks it'll now count for that. Also, increased hit stop for the air version's last hit, so be easy to visual confirm some stuff here. And also increase the aerial version's hitbox downwards, so it'll have a slightly better time attacking people. The H version here, he is no longer hit by attacks, it says. So I guess you can't smack him off the screen. Also here, for Quarter Circle Back S, that is the Ki Blast version here. The opponent's blowback trajectory is now reliant on the move's projectiles. Not sure what that means. And 17 becomes invulnerable faster in the air version because that's his shield. 22S, that is this. So now cancelable in the supers even if you hold the button, which I'm not sure what that means. But if you got hit, you can cancel in the super. That was one of the changes from a while back. The super startup will now be faster if you cancel the super, which is good, because you could cancel in the supers on hit, but sometimes they get the block anyways, which really sucked. Quarter Circle Forward LM, that is the level 1 super. Faster startup will check the opponent when they're being hit midair. Good. Quarter Circle Back LM, that is the level 3. I added a hitbox that will only hit the opponent's assists, so just to smack them out of the way. Increased recovery, fixed an issue where the minimum damage value would change. And also for the assist, the vulnerability here will start quicker, making it even better yet for what it does. Gotenks, aka Rat Boy. So first up here, aerial hitbox has been changed, once again in line with the other changes. Basically trying to curb some character-specific combos, more in line in that Gotenks could get out of combos other people couldn't, so he'll be hit by the same stuff everyone else will. Stand light here. Time window for canceling the stand light on whiff is now slower. Standing H, decreased travel distance. So he will not go as far as it currently does. And increased hit back. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to work because it already hits back as far as it can, but I guess we'll see. Jumping light. Once the first hit touches the opponent, the follow ones won't hit overhead. This is kind of a universal change here. All multi-hitting moves in the air, only the first hit will be an overhead. So in that specific scenario you saw right there, that is not like a double overhead. That would only be a single overhead. Also here, increase the recovery. So Quarter Circle Forward series, light, medium, heavy. That's a Miracle Super Gun Punch here. Can now be held with any button after you do the initial move. Also, decreased recovery for the grounded version, increased travel distance for the grounded versions. Quarter Circle Back X series, that's a light, medium, heavy here. That is a spin to win. So now increased damage, added starter proration. So if you start a combo with this and do something like that, you're going to do less damage than you would have beforehand. Adjusted blowback on hit, adjusted properties on a smash hit. Not sure what that's going to detail. But that kind of situation right there. Now faces the opponent's directions on the final hit as well. So specifically the light version here, increased travel distance and recovery on the grounded version. Medium, also increased travel distance. And now going to Quarter Circle Back S, that is the donuts. So increase the untechable time on smash hit. So if the first hit connects raw and like not in the combo or something like that here. Increase the blowback on hit. Smash effect won't trigger when only the second part of it hits. So if the only second part here, the one launches here, that will not use up your smash. Holding 8, that is up, will now make the attack hitbox move. So I guess the ring will move with you holding upwards. That's kind of weird. And now the second hit won't confirm if the first one is reflected. So I wonder if this applies to the assist as well. So no having to double reflect this kind of stuff. Quarter circle back S in the air. That is Die Missile Barrage. So increased meter gain, so just a straight buff. Quarter circle back light medium. That is level 3. The move's positioning will no longer change when Piccolo is on your team. So I guess if Piccolo's on your team, it actually affected the move besides just the look of it. And now unable to move until landing on whiff. Also here, the assist, okay, as it was read before there. So no more having to double reflect the assists here if you reflected the first one. Krillin, so standing H here, that guy right here. Like that, indeed. Will now have increased hit back on block, so it'll be pushed back a little further on block here. Stand S and jumping S. Decrease damage, but increase untechable time, so more hit stun and combos. And decrease blowback on hit. 2H, the infamous 2H here. Faster startup. Hey, it's something, I guess. Jumping M here. Faster startup on the second hit of it. Decrease the hitbox on the first hit. Decrease the hit stop on the first hit. And just the speed on auto combo. Quarter circle forward series. Light, medium, heavy. That is the decoys. So first here, change the conditions for a smash trigger. Doesn't say what though. Adjusted the properties on smash hit. Increased damage, decreased hit back, decreased recovery. These are generally all good things. Opponent falls on hit faster and unable to move until landing. Also here, so quarter circle forward medium specifically now feints a backdash on the grounded version. So if I'm reading this correctly here, Krillin will backdash if he does the feint, which will definitely be weird. Quarter circle forward heavy, the EX version. Decreased recovery for the charge version and increased the hit stop. Now the quarter circle back light medium heavy series, that is the rock tosses and senzu beans. So increased recovery, decreased distance travel, and throws beans faster. So that's something, I guess. The rock specifically though, not the bean though. The rock specifically increased the hit stop. Increase the untech time, the hit stun time here. Slower startup, change the trajectory, that we'll have to wait and see. And remove the landing recovery on the grounded version. So there was a little bit of landing lag, I guess that's going to be gone now. Now specifically the EX version. So the rock holocaust is now fully in force here, because now you throw 2 rocks on EX instead of just 1. So if you really want to fill the screen with trash, I guess Krillin's going to be your boy. Quarter circle forward S, that is the Kamehameha. So now your falling speed to the ground will increase if you do the held version in the air while you're holding down. Now conversely, quarter circle back S, that is the solar flare. Cancel window now later than it was before. Quarter circle forward LM, that is destructo disc. You can now fire diagonally by holding up or down. That is definitely an interesting change. Don't know if it'll be a great change, but it certainly is an interesting change. And onto the level 3 here, increased recovery. The falling part of the super will always appear on screen if the opponent is up high in the air as well. So, could be different, Oki. We'll wait and see on that one. Definitely with the increased recovery, means a lot of the current setups will be different at the very least. And for his ultimate Z change here, so when he's called in on hit to do super, it says here the adjusted position. I'm not sure what they're going to adjust to. And for the assist, the rock toss here, faster startup, adjust position, and change the rock trajectory. Kid Buu, air hurtbox changes like many other small characters. Generally speaking, that means for him, just like other small characters, won't fall out of certain combos that work on everybody else. So 1M, that is the close boot, not the down M here. So if you do 1M, that is down back an M. It does a bit closer than the regular version. So that has increased recovery. Jumping M, this guy here. Adjusted behavior for when it's used close to the ground. So might affect its overhead status. Close to the ground, not sure. Jumping S, this guy here. Initial attack hitbox has been increased and decreased blowback on hit. Quarter circle forward series, light, medium, heavy. So that's the pinballs here. Increased hitback, increased blowback on hit, increased travel distance, decreased the hitbox, a worse hitbox. Slower startup for grounded versions. Added starter proration for grounded versions. So if you like start your combo with this or something like that, you'll do less damage. And adjusted the properties on a smash hit. So the light one specifically does not leap forward after touching the ground anymore. So he might just end on the ground. The EX version increased damage, which is pretty decent. It's used often in combos. Quarter circle back series, that's the air grabs here. So adjusted this properties on smash hit. Doesn't say what else besides that. No clue. Might be just sliding knockdowns for everybody, not sure. Cortical forward S, that is the Candy Beam. So adjust the properties on smash hit, and cancel window on block is now slower. Cortical back S, that is the arm ball here. Now cancels inertia on startup. So it doesn't really slide forward too much when you do it, unless it just means it stops you dead, which I guess that's the thing. Now also here, so Cortical back LM, that is his level 3. So now unable to move until landing the... So it is now unable to move until landing in the aerial version of the move. Falling speed is increased, and position and recovery will change based on height on the air version, so that might affect your Okazeme afterwards. Majin Buu. Now I got a pretty good feeling a lot of people are going to be maybe slightly disappointed with one specific change. So stand light light. Reduce the cancel window to stand light light light. Stand light 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 is now a true throw, so unblockable. But of course, you'd have to like whiff your way to it to make that work. Decrease the active frames, increase the travel distance. Jumping H. Increase blowback on hit. Quarter-circle forward series, light, medium, heavy. That is the butt stomps. So change the condition for triggering a smash effect. Doesn't say what though. Change the movement for when a smash effect is not triggered. Adjust the behavior on hit. Increase damage. Decrease proration, so more damage overall. And the grounded version now hits above him as well. For the EX version specifically, it says here, adjust the properties on a smash hit. Quarter circle back series, that's the cartwheels. So adjust the properties on smash hit. Increase travel distance overall. The medium version specifically, slower startup. And now here's a big one. So quarter circle back S, that is the fat toss. So increased hit stop, adjusted the projectile's trajectory, hitbox increased downwards, and the big one. So the opponent will now be airborne if he's released naturally by the fat. So it basically means he gets to air recover instead of ground recover. Meaning, the fat toss mix-up, I'm not going to say is dead, but it is severely weakened. So the old waiting for it to run out, then, high, low, left, right, all the kind of shenanigans into full new combo, that is not going to work the way it worked no more. Because if they're going to be able to air tech, they can tech up, they can tech forward, they can do whatever they want to get out. It is just not going to work the same way. So that is definitely a strict nerf to the character. So quarter circle back LM, that is a level 3. The amount of hits no longer changes when from hitting from far away, and decrease the blowback. Nappa. Now does Lord Nappa ride again? Don't know, but this might be a step in the right direction here. So first up here is stand light. Reduce the cancel window into stand light light. Stand light light won't chain from stand light while holding 2. So if you're holding down, you won't be able to go right into it. Standing S. So this one's got some changes here. That is his basic key blast. Now I don't look like much, but we'll see here. So first up here, added a strike type hitbox at the start. My interpretation of this is the start counts as a proper hit. So if he's in your face, you can't just homing dash it. Will always blow back forward now. It's kind of what it does anyway, so I'm not sure what that means. Ignores key blast at the start. So to me, that is saying the start of this has projectile armor, which would be really awesome. Decrease the number of Key Blasts it clashes with. If you're not aware, it's like the second strongest Key Blast besides Broly. They do trade evenly, but Broly gets to shoot a lot of them. He doesn't. Increase the projectile's hit stop, increase the projectile's blowback, and increase the hitbox. So if I'm reading this correctly, this move's going to become a lot more valuable than it currently is. As you're going to be able to just chuck it mid-screen to some actual value like Broly and Jiren currently can. Jumping S. So faster startup here. So as you can see, the startup is pretty slow. Increase blowback on hit, decrease on tech time, so less time for hit stun, decrease block stun, added proration, so more damage if, less damage if you start a combo with this. It depends basically how much faster it starts up to make all this worth it, because it actually, for a basic Key Blast, has a decently aggressive arc. So we'll see, I guess. But depending on the speed, it could be a decent buff. If not, then kind of a nerf. So jumping 2H, this is one of his more signature moves, to say the least. First up here, landing part of the move is now also jump cancelable in sparking. So if you do this here, if I could actually hit, you'll actually now be able to jump cancel that in sparking. That's pretty cool. So the jump count no longer resets after the landing part of the move, which is unfortunate. But considering the change, I guess. So if you already double jumped in your combo, it doesn't mean basically you could do this and then hit the ground, then get way more jumps. So it like create weird touch death situations. Faster startup, also very good. Now, jumping 2H. It says here, increase travel distance, so it goes further. Increase blowback on hit, increase hitbox on the landing part, unable to cancel the move right before landing, and now triggers a smash effect on hit. It doesn't right now, so that'll be different. So depending on how this reads, on that Jump S startup thing here, he might actually finally be able to combo into S in the down heavy by himself, outside of that one weird corner combo that relies on the auto combo. If so, that's a massive, like, almost game changer for Nappa, to be honest with you. Quarter circle forward series, light, medium, heavy. That's the big old overheads here. So it says here the move's behavior now changes if you hold the button. Changes to what? Well, it doesn't say, which is unfortunate. But increased damage, adjusted properties on smash hit, and adjusted static difference on block. Unsure if that means it's more or less safe on block. Hopefully more. Quarter circle forward light here now triggers a smash effect. So my understanding is then it'll be a true sliding knockdown now, instead of like the nothing it is right now. Because if you get it, you can't. It doesn't work into anything. You just get the hit, nothing else, right? So that would make him like a true like high-low monster, if that is the case. So we'll wait and see. Quarter circle back X. That is the EX Cyberman. So EX Cyberman here, pressing buttons during it will change the Cyberman's attacks. Doesn't say to what though specifically. But if you can like hit this and circle, then he just comes and goes spit, 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 spit. That would be pretty cool. So for Cyberman plants, and it doesn't matter which one it is, this is specifically the Cyberman's moves itself. So Nail Slash, which is the uppercut, will increase untech time. So basically more hits on the combos, and increase the hitbox downwards, making it better for certain combos. The Slide, which is always the second attack here, decrease damage and increase hit stop. And the Puke here, which is basically the best move overall for the Cyber. It says here decrease damage. It's definitely the best move. That sucks here. Untech time won't be affected by combos proration. So that might actually kill a lot of the weird resets he has. We'll see, I guess. It's kind of normalizing him, but Nappa had a lot of structures. Like, once again, I used to be a big Nappa player, right? So he had a lot of weird combo structures where, like, I can get my whole combo, and then, like, the Cyberman will hit you at the very end, and then, boom, you're just standing. No knockdown, no recovery, you're just standing, right? And then it's time to guess the mix all over again, right? So we'll see how that one works. And also the final thing here, Cyberman self-destruct, increased damage. Hey, welcome buff, I'll take it. More damage is more damage. Quarter circle forward S, that is the big ol' explosion. Change the attack's position, doesn't say how or why though. And holding the button also changes the position. So I'm going to assume one version is the tracking version that always is, and another one is probably like a fixed version. That would be my interpretation anyways. Quarter circle back S, that's the too bad move here. So smash effect will trigger regardless if the guard point activates or not. So if you basically triggered the armor on this, he would always get a free combo. And now he'll get a free combo if it hits regardless, because as it currently stands, only if you trigger the armor. Definitely a net buff. Adjust the properties on smash hit, doesn't say how or why. Maybe it gets rid of certain combo routes, who knows. Decreased the damage, but if we always get a combo, I guess it's fair enough. Change the timing for holding the button. So if you held it, it actually comes out a bit slower than if you don't hold it. And decrease the blowback on first hit and increase the hitbox. So my interpretation is move is better. Now the assist also will always appear at close range. So not sure what that means. Nappa always appears kind of just where you are. And the move tracks to a point. So if you're very close, the explosion's close, and if you're medium, it's like it'll be a medium, but if you're full screen, it won't track full screen. So it might mean the explosion's always going to be close to Nappa. So it'll be more like an Android 16 style assist, not quite sure. Moving on to Android 16. First up here, Grounded Dragon Rush. Fixed the bug where the camera moved too much on the snapback. That's fixed up here. 6M here, that is forward M, that is the overhead. Adjusted the hitbox. In what way? Don't know. Standing light, increased recovery, but increased hitbox downward. So this could whiff at certain ranges against certain characters, and even standing short characters. So hopefully it's just a fix of that. And as far as increased recovery on solo hit, yeah, I'm fine with that. Light. That is the one with the grab at the end here. Increased throw range vertically. So 2H. Increased recovery, which unfortunately gets rid of some of the gimmicks on block. Because you can do whatever block string, do this, and then you can still like move around in the air. But in trade for that, initial attack hitbox is now increased downwards, meaning it can hit homing dashing small characters. So that was fixed for Broly last patch, but it was not fixed for 16. So 16 can now hit those pesky smalls just like everybody else. Jumping medium decreased damage, unfortunate. Jumping H here, adjusted the attack properties on hit when used from a ground auto combo. Not sure what that means, as it's jumping move, so you can't use it while you're on the ground, but I guess we'll find out when the patch comes out. Jumping down heavy, so slower startup, but it is now a true overhead. As it currently stands, this move is not an overhead. It is a mid, so you can block it crouching if you want. This does mean he will have the option to have a triple overhead now, and that's really good. Added starter proration, increased recovery, increased hit stop on block, no longer hits behind him. Triggers a smash attack effect on air hit. Adjusted properties on the smash hit, and is now jump cancelable on sparking. Because it is currently standing, you cannot jump cancel it as it stands in sparking blast. Jumping S, initial attack hurt box increase, so better hitbox. And just a blowback on hit, doesn't say how or why though. Quarter circle forward series, light, medium, heavy, that's the grabs on the ground. First up here, adjust a blowback on hit. And the opponent's position after being hit is now uniformed, although it doesn't say how that's going to be exactly. Quarter circle forward light here, faster startup. This is actually a big buff. It'll definitely make him a lot scarier on the ground here, because it'll make his solo mix a lot better when going for just a solo grab, make it a lot less reactable basically. As nominally a grappler character, having his actual grapple being a lot better is definitely a buff as far as I'm concerned. For the medium and heavy versions here, adjusted properties on a smash hit, so I'm assuming meaning it's a solo hit, and cancelable to super dash and Z change on a smash hit. So right now, say if you do like the medium version, or even the X version, all you can really do is cancel into the air grab mid-screen. That's like your only option. So it might actually cause like a wall bounce, like say stand heavy, and then you can actually get a homing dash afterwards. If so, big deal. Quarter circle back series, light, medium, heavy, that is the anti-air grabs. So increased upper and lower hitboxes, so buff to the grab range. Opponent's position after being hit is now uniformed. Increased damage, decreased damage for when a smash effect triggers at mid-combo. Decreased meter gain when a smash effect triggers at mid-combo. Medium and heavy specifically, it is adjusted properties, doesn't say how or why, on a smash hit. And specifically for the EX version, faster startup on the throw part of the move, although not the hit part, which is the very beginning. Fun fact if you're not aware, it's actually his fastest move. It is faster than his stand jab. So if you're trying to get people off you, that's the move to go for it. Decreased proration on the last part of the move. Decreased damage on the grounded version's last part, so not the aerial version. And increase the proration on the ground version's last part. Jumping quarter circle forward series, so the aerial forward grabs here. Increase hitbox downwards, increase travel distance, so it travels further. Increase recovery, hopefully you're not doing as a whiff. Will face opponent's directions after the move. So as you see here, he's facing away from the enemy until he lands. That'll be changed and he'll face towards them. Opponent's position after being hit now uniform, up more damage. Decreased damage for when a smash effect triggers mid-combo. And also a decreased meter gain. So the medium-heavy version's in the air. Faster startup, increased active frames, buff. Adjusted properties on smash hit, and cancelable into a super dash, Z change, or quarter circle back into whatever on smash hit. Meaning, so I don't know, say, this is very basic, say something like this, right? You can go right into a homing dash or another air grab and just keep the combo going. So it'll definitely change his combo structure, to say the least. Quarter circle back S, that is the direct downwards blast. The last hit won't come out if the move's reflected. So this does 8 hits, so I'm guessing it'll only be 7 hits, potentially, if it's reflected. Quarter circle forward LM, that is the Hell Flash here. So increase the cancel window for ultimate D change, as DHC. Increase the active frames when whiffed. Adjusted the properties on hit, doesn't say how or what. Increase the air version's damage when done from a long range. So most people forget, this is an aerial version of a move here. It's potentially the least useful super in the game, the aerial version. So if it does more damage from a long range, that'll be cool to see. Maybe it'll have some mild use, not sure. Also, his assist will disappear if the main character takes damage. That's kind of how it should be anyway, so I guess that's a bug fix. Moving on to Yamcha, so jumping 2H, that's the dive kick. Initial attack hitbox has been increased. Quarter circle forward, light medium, and light medium, that's the follow-ups here for the Wolf Fang Fist here. Now able to do them on whiff, because you cannot do them on whiff as it currently stands. Follow-ups now won't come out if you hold backwards. And now able to use quarter circle back, light medium heavy, that's the tornado spin here, as a follow-up as well. Now moving forward here, specifically quarter circle forward medium, Wolf Fang Fist, teleport on the other side one here. Cancel timing for the heavy follow-up, that guy right there is now slower. So as it currently stands, you can like plank it on frame 1, so I guess it's going to be different. Also now here, quarter circle forward, light medium here, increase travel distance, so it'll move forward than it currently does. And the tornado series, light medium heavy, quarter circle back. Adjusted the blowback on hit, now faces opponent directly before the last hit. Increased recovery, adjusted properties on smash hit, doesn't say how or what. And increased hit stop for the ground version's last hit. For the light medium specific versions here, the grounded ones here, they will now travel further forward on the ground. Yamcha will also float lower if the grounded version is blocked, so he'll go up high, not as high if the medium version is blocked. The EX version increased the untech time for the rotating part of the move, so more hit stun, but if it's already getting hit, I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm not a Yamcha player, but maybe there's a point where like they could fall out of it, and if so, that'd be the fix for that. So any Wolf Fang Fist into S, the side switch. Decrease the buffer window, and also the input direction will align to the opponent's direction. Now, same deal here, Wolf Fang Fist and forward, light or medium, that causes the big old strike here. Decrease blowback on hit and adjusted properties on a smash hit. Quarter circle forward, Wolf Fang Fist into heavy, which is the big old EX follow-up there. Decreased recovery and will no longer come out if you've had the M button pressed while pressing H. Quarter circle back, light medium, that's Wolf Fang Fist. Decrease the minimum damage, so at the end of a long combo it will do less damage. Lord Tien, so first up here, the second hit of the auto combo, the double hitter here. Decreased damage, adjusted blowback on hit, and the end of the auto combo, adjusted the hit stop on hit, increased the hitbox, and adjusted blowback on hit. Standing S, jumping S, is the key blast. So increased damage, each blast will do more than it currently does right now. Increase the untech time, so more hit stun, adjusted blowback on hit, so nice little buff for that. Also for stand S, specifically another jumping one, increase recovery a little bit. Jumping L, just like many other characters, if the first hit connects, the second hit will no longer be an overhead, so you only have to block the first hit as an overhead. Now moving forward here, jumping S, also the initial attack hitbox increased. Quarter circle forward M, so specifically the medium volleyball fist, increased the grounded version's travel distance, so it already goes far enough, I guess. It'll go full screen, I'm not sure. The EX version increased the ground version's travel distance, faster startup on the ground version. This is a grab here. This is a true command grab, by the way. Change the conditions for triggering the smash effect. Not really sure what those conditions would be. Increase the damage for the air version, which is a different kind of move. Quarter circle backlight medium heavy series, that's the knee dives. Increased damage, adjusted properties on a smash hit, and increased the travel distance, so go further. Doesn't say what the adjusted properties are, though. Also, adjusted blowback and no landing recovery when the move is blocked. The light version specifically now triggers a smash effect, so you will get a sliding knockdown just like the medium and up. Slower startup on the aerial version does not leap backwards on hit anymore. So as you can see here, if it smacks, it kind of moves backwards, so you'll be able just to follow up a little bit better. The medium version, slower startup as well. And the heavy version, the EX version, faster startup on the grounded version. As you see, it's kind of slow, so it'll be better as a surprise overhead. Quarter circle back S, that's Chaozu. Increase the untech time, so even more hit stun. Chaozu is already pretty good at that, now it's even more. And increase the hit stop on block. Quarter circle forward LM, that is the Tri-Beam level 1. Decrease the HP penalty, so if you're not aware, he takes 10% permanent damage every time he does this. Doesn't say how much less it's going to be, but it is less. Increase the minimum damage value in basically most situations, barring a couple weird moves like Kaioken. For the most part, Tri-Beam is the most damaging level 1 in the game when it comes to minimum scaling. So if it has even more minimum damage, that's just a giant feather in Tien's cap. And there's also, if you keep holding the buttons for the super, it will activate a follow-up. Doesn't say what the follow-up is going to be, but still, any kind of follow-up and Tri-Beam better moves, hey, that's pretty awesome. Quarter circle back L and M, that is the Neo Tri-Beam. So once again, decreased HP usage, it takes 10% just like the level 1 Tri-Beam. Increased minimum damage, increased untech time, adjusted blowback, and adjusted positioning. So yeah, all sorts of Tri-Beams definitely getting buffs. Adult Gohan, so mash stand light auto combo here, increase end tech time on air hit. 2H here, down heavy, at level 7, so maximum potential unleashed. Gohan can cancel the landing into any ground moves, which is interesting. Stand S here, increase the buffer window for Gatlings. Jumping H, increase the blowback on a smash hit. Jumping S, that is the runaway key blast. Increase the buffer window for Gatlings, increase travel distance. At level 7, you can also cancel it into other aerial moves. Which he kind of already could, so I'm not sure what that means. Jump S into, like, that is kind of a thing for a lot of combos. Jumping machine gun kick series, light, medium, heavy, can now be held with any button. So if you start with light, you can hold it with a medium, that kind of stuff afterwards. Increase travel distance, decrease damage, decrease meter gain, add the hitbox before landing, and is now able to buffer a super in while he's on his landing recovery. Now specifically, the medium machine gun kick, decreased landing recovery. The EX version here, adjusted travel distance, leaps slightly when blocked. Made more punishable than it currently is, not sure, because it's a really good lockdown move as it currently stands. The quarter circle back series, light, medium, heavy, that's the back fist here. So increased travel distance, adjusted blowback on hit, change the conditions for triggering a smash effect, and adjusted the properties on a smash hit. Will face an opponent's direction after the move. He can sometimes get a little back turn if he does it. And now able to buffer supers right before landing, which is pretty interesting. Because it currently stands, you'd have to like wait till after the hit's done. So that's just a good quality of life change. Also has faster startup if done while the opponent is taking damage mid-air. So like kind of like in a combo situation, once again, if you're not aware, the move becomes like a teleport when he's like level 1 and up. Less recovery on the ground version if done to an airborne opponent. Also, this will affect the teleport versions. The EX version has faster startup in the air. Also here, now quarter circle back LM, that's the level 3. Decreased hit back, and the assist, which is his uppercut. Increased hit stop now appears further ahead than he currently does. So as you see here, he kind of just appears barely in front of the opponent. So I guess this is a universal change to uppercut style assist. So it'll appear further ahead when the opponent's closer to you. And now is invulnerable to jump attack. So it's actually like a proper anti-air. Hit. First up here, the Vanish. Adjusted for opponent's position on a smash effect. Not sure what that means, to be brutally honest with you. Stand L. Reduced the cancel window for Stand LL. Stand LL. Slower startup, but increased travel distance. Goes pretty far already, so further yet, I suppose. And the finish auto combo here. Adjust the blowback on hit. Increased recovery on hit. That seems like almost like a nerf. Decreased active frames on the third hit. I don't know. We'll wait and see, I guess. Because it all depends on what the adjusted blowback actually means. 2L. That's this guy here. Increased damage. Quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy. That is the stance various moves here. So change the timing for canceling to the S follow-up, which is just cancel stance, and decrease recovery for the S follow-up, which is cancel stance. So you'll recover a lot quicker, basically. Now specifically here, stance L. Decrease the starter proration, meaning it'll do more damage in a combo if you start with this here. Decrease damage, unfortunately. Decrease meter gain. For the M follow-up here, the punch. Decrease starter proration for the not cross-up version. Increase damage, increase on tech time, hits done. And the heavy version, adjusted properties on smash hit from the cross-up version. Not sure what that means. We have increased damage, good. And increased hitbox upwards. Quarter circle back LM, that is the level 3. This does more damage, hey, pretty cool. Quarter circle forward LM, that is the big rush super here. Other attacks will no longer hit the opponent while the air version is in motion. So I guess it takes priority over the hits. And quarter circle forward HS, the big old punch. Now spends all your meter at once to do more damage. Adjust the blowback on hit, increased recovery, and unable to follow it up after successfully hitting it. So you do this and you're done. We'll see what the actual damage is in the combo after this, but hopefully pretty cool. Goku Blue got a lot of changes here. Sometimes perceived as a weak character. Couldn't agree with that myself. I actually think he's a secret super strong character. But going over the buffs here, so stand light. So that's the second hit, that's the low. Adjusted blowback on hit. Adjusted untech time, doesn't say up or down though, sadly. Adjusted hit stop. Stand M, the back fist. Increased travel directory, so better footsies normal. Not a bad one also, by the way. Increased recovery, increased travel distance for holding 4 versions. So if you hold this here, you see it goes less far here if you hold back and the move here. So it still goes a little further even if you hold back. And increased recovery for it as well. Stand S here, the basic key blast, increased damage and just a blowback on hit. Jumping down H, increased travel distance forward, just like a Super Saiyan Goku. Jumping S, initial attack hitbox increased, pretty cool. And adjusted the blowback on hit. Quarter circle forward series, so light, medium, heavy, that's the shoulders. Adjusted properties on a smash hit. Doesn't say what or how though. Increase untech time, more hits done. Increase hit stop on hit. Decrease recovery. Increase travel distance so they go further. And increase blowback on hit. So maybe the medium might get a wall bounce from full screen. That'd be pretty interesting. Specifically, quarter circle forward light. Light has faster startup. Medium has increased active frames and increased damage for the grounded version specifically. That's really good for combos. Quarter circle forward, that's the EX version here, the heavy. Faster startup, increased damage, and when using the aerial version specifically, if the opponent is within a set height, Goku will teleport to their location, so he'll kind of like match heights with them. Quarter circle backlight, medium, heavy series, that is the grabs. Increased damage on successful throw, really good. Increased hit stop on successful throw. Removed invincibility window on Goku's teleport. So technically, for like a brief frame, he was actually like not on the screen, so that's gone. No longer able to connect 2 or more throws at once in a combo. That was kind of rare, so is what it is. But more damage on a raw throw, hey, awesome, really good. Light version specifically, slower startup is a really tricky grab. But like you had almost no time to react to that stuff, so I guess that's kind of whatever. Vertical back jumping series, that is the dive kicks. So just a blowback on hit, increase the travel distance, increase untech time, so hit stun's better. No longer hits opponents behind Goku. There was a weird hitbox behind him. Initial attack hitbox is increased, so better hitbox. Light medium version specifically, faster startup. Now the question is how fast? Can he self combo into the medium and get a sliding knockdown by himself? Because that is a literal game changer. We'll find out, I guess, when the patch hits. Adjusted properties on hit, doesn't say how or what. EX version, changed the behavior on hit, doesn't say how or what. Quarter circle board and quarter circle back S, those are the instant transmission kicks. So it says here, adjusted teleport position, doesn't say where though. Increased travel distance, doesn't say where. Like, you're teleport to him, so I'm not sure what the travel distance is. Decreased block stun, so it might not be plus on block anymore. Adjusted properties on a smash hit, increase the active frames, faster startup on the cross-up version of the move. So you're going to be likely to catch people sleeping a little bit better with that. Quarter circle forward LM, this instant transmission Kamehameha here. First up here it says adjusted conditions for teleporting before the super. So not sure what those conditions are. Faster startup, hey, that's fine. Increased recovery, might get rid of a couple of the weird Oki setups he had after it. Increased ultimate DHC change, DHC cancel window for it. And quarter circle back LM, the level 3. So increased travel distance and adjusted position for when it's Z change, DHC'd. Holding the button on hit lets you perform instant transmission. That's, even the translator doesn't know about that one. Now, normally, lets you do the Kamehameha, like the follow-up, so I guess we'll see. Add a hitbox that only hits assist, so you can't burn it just hitting an assist. Also here, the level 5 version says change the behavior after hitting opponent, so I have to speculate maybe better or worse positioning for Okazeme afterwards. After getting it. This is always one of the coolest moves of the game. And you guys know I'm not a Goku fan, right? But this move's always been super sick. So if it's better, hey, awesome. Vegeta Blue, off maligned. Is these the changes that he needs? Well, you can be the judge. So first up here, Tekken says adjust testing time. Honestly, no idea. Stand light. Adjusted the aesthetics of when you whiff cancel the move. Another, who knows? To be honest with you. Full auto combo ender, increase the hitbox. Stand S, so that is a basic E-blast here. Decrease blowback when the opponent is close to you, so they're pushed back less far away. Increase the hitbox, so the projectile itself is better. Down light, increase recovery. Once again, adjust the statics when you whiff the move. No idea what that means. 2H, down heavy, increase active frame, so it just makes it a better down heavy. 2S, that is an alternate angle ki blast. Decrease blowback on hit and decrease the untech time, so they can recover actually a little bit faster. Jumping S and jumping 2S, once again, this is 2 different angles. Same deal here, decrease blowback on hit and increase the hitbox. Quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy, that is the Rekka series. So will face the opponent's direction after the move, so no more like facing away from them until you land. Travel distance now changes according to the follow-up. Adjusted blowback on hit, adjusted the untech time, doesn't say better or worse. Adjusted hit stop, doesn't say better or worse. Adjusted damage, hopefully for the better. And increased recovery. Now onto a couple specifics here. So the light version specifically, Light Rekka has a faster startup, and the medium version has a slower startup. Quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy series, that is the grab. So 1, increase damage, 2, increase proration. Change travel distance, let's say for the better or worse. Increase active frames, that's definitely a plus. That is an advantage for the character. Will face the opponent's direction after facing the move. So no more facing away here until you land on the ground. Adjusted properties on a smash hit. Quarter circle forward, and S, that is the big bang attack. Faster startup, that could be a very big deal. Now able to buff supers into it. Increase proration, so if you start the combo with this, then you're going to do less damage. Move forward before attacking on the grounded version, so you'll move forward a little bit here. Decrease recovery on the air version. Increase hit stop on the first hit, and decrease hit stop on the block. Also, increased untech time, meaning, once again, more hit stun. Increased hitbox. The hitbox was actually kind of respectable on it already, so it definitely seems to be a better move just all in all. Quarter circle forward LM, that is a Niagara Pummel. So increase the damage when holding the button. So if you hold it, it'll just do the first hit, and then you like follow up and get a combo afterwards. So increase damage on the first hit, and also adjust the blowback on the hit. And here we are with 214 LM, that is Final Flash. Just a blowback on hit, increase on tech time, unable to move to a landing, quickly falls after using air version. So once again, just like a regular Vegeta, if you use it in the air, they'll fall right to the ground, so no more teching out in the air. The assist also changed up here, so increase hit stop on the first hit, decrease hit stop on block, increase on tech time, so once again more hit stun, and increased hitbox. So for Beerus, it says here, auto combo second hit, 2H, and jumping medium will all have different trajectories when it comes to hitting the orbs. Interesting. Full auto combo adjusted the hitbox for airborne opponents. Faster startup when the opponent's taking damage mid-air. So better for dodge juggles and kind of stuff here. And increase the hitbox upwards. Stand M, faster startup, that's the headbutt. Increase hitbox upwards. So move's been kind of poo-poo, so a little bit better now if they're trying to use it raw in like a footsie situation. And down M, adjusted blowback on hit, doesn't really specify what. Jumping M, increase active frames, increase the hitbox downwards, making it a lot easier to hit people on the ground when they're crouching. Jumping 2H, adjusted blowback on hit. Jumping S, initial attack hitbox increase, adjusted blowback on hit. Quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy series, that is the orbs. So can now be held light, medium, or heavy, so we can start with one button and hold with the other if that's easier for you. Increase damage on all the orbs, increase proration, increase the sphere's damage, like the raw damage itself with the sphere, not including the kick part too, but so just damage increase across the board. Decrease sphere's hit back. Sphere's hit stop increases when launched by one of Beerus' moves, so like smacking it with your head or something like that. Any spheres he launches with his attacks won't disappear even if you perform a Z change. So they will remain on screen if you tag out. That's the way I'm reading it. Adjusted properties on smash hit. Landing recovery is cancelled if the hitbox appears on the aerial version. The M version specifically, kick no longer hits grounded opponents. That's definitely a nerf, honestly. Quarter circle forward heavy, increase travel distance. Change position of the spheres. That's, we'll see on that one, I guess. I'm not sure what that'll be. When holding up, the kick will whiff on grounded opponents. So that's this guy here, just like the medium. And opponent's blowback and damage will change when using the up or down version of the attack. So this move is modular. Here's the regular version. Here's me holding up. And here's me holding down. So the move is different if you hold up or down, just so you know. Quarter circle back series, light, medium, heavy. That's a dunk. So no longer hits people behind Beerus. Increase proration, increase damage, increase travel. Now able to buffer supers while landing, so he can like pre-buffer and like a lot of stuff here. Made it so it's harder for Beerus to switch sides in the corner when using the grounded version. And quarter circle back S, that is the invincible reversal. Increased recovery. It's one of the safest reversals actually. because you can hit at weird angles, plus, you know, it's like full screen, right? And increases spawning speed after attacking, so while he's coming down here, he'll hit the ground quicker. Not too many changes for Videl because she is a newer character. So Reflect, throw invulnerability disappears once the Reflect starts up, just like other characters. Sound effect for a successful dodge has been changed. So there was some weirdness where people could pass through her while trying to throw, so I guess that's the fix for it. Light auto combo here, increased throw range. Standing M, cancel timing into 5mm increased, which is weird. I'm not really sure on that one, to be honest with you. Stand S, 2S, jump S, also all the Gohan stuff. Vanish window is changed. Quarter circle back X, that's the Frankensteiner, light, medium, heavy. No longer hits when Videl's not the point character. Untech time on the held version is changed, so hit stun is different. And when the opponent's in hit stun, throw range is larger. So while you're being in combo, basically. And so quarter circle forward, light, medium. That is the level 1. Fixed, being able to Z change while canceling into a special. Jiren stand light, so second hit of the auto combo, can now chain cancel into down light. So that is this guy right here. Standing H, startup reduce, so faster, really big buff. 2S, that's this guy right here. Will display anti-air when beating air attacks now. Inputting down back S on hit will cancel it into a super dash. Very interesting. Jumping M, first hit has less hit stop, so the first hit of this double hitting move. Jumping down heavy, the spin to win. Hitbox is now beginning at the... the hitbox at the beginning is larger. Now has a camera effect when it hits airborne opponents. And fixed the bug where it be frozen in place when trading with the held version. So if you remember that old bug video I put up a while back, that bug is now squashed. Also, jumping S. That guy right there. Reduce the amount the opponent gets blown back by. And quarter circle forward, light, medium. That is the projectile level in Super. Fix the bug where the Super would appear from far away from Jiren. Android 17, he's got some changes to him. So first up here, second hit of the auto combo. This guy here will move further. Down M, that's this guy here. Moves farther as well, knocks the opponent back less. Standing S, standing key blast, knocks the opponent back less as well. So 3H, so that is down forward, that is the slide. So the attack level reduced, not sure on that one. Startup reduce, so starts up faster. Recovery reduce, moves farther, knocks opponent back less. Hitbox made taller, hurtbox made taller. So generally speaking, just a better move all around. Quarter circle forward and quarter circle back X, so just all the Rekka stuff. Untech time increased, a hit stop increased, pushback during pushback during the attack rather. Sorry, my bad. Made larger as well. Specifically, quarter circle forward light, startup decrease, so this move will be faster. Also, the start of the Rekka chain into stand light, so it doesn't matter how you do it, but this move right here, the second part of it. Damage proration is decreased, so more damage overall. Standardized recovery, cancel window for follow-ups is increased. Untech time is decreased, hit stop decreased. So Rekka into 6L, that's forward light, that's the overhead here. It doesn't matter which Rekka you use to get into it. So remove the head property. So the way I'm reading that, it might not make it a jumping attack anymore, and might not make it susceptible to down heavies anymore. Change how far he moves, lowered his vertical height, so I guess it'll be lower to the ground when he does it. Hitbox reduced, hit stop increased, hurtbox increased. 2L follow-up, that is the sweep. So untech time reduced, hit stop increased, change how the opponent is blown back on hit, doesn't say how or why, and made it harder to cross up the opponent. Rekka stand H or S, that is the barriers. So change the effect on cinematic hit, increase damage proration, reduce recovery, untech time reduce, and increased the size of the counter. So once again, if move hits, you can counter them from this. The charge part of down S, not the projectile part, but the charge part. So charges faster, reduce active frames, reduce recovery, so recovers faster, reduce hit stop, increase untech time, change how the opponent is blown back, hitbox is increased, and made cancel timing later. So I'm assuming that means like easier as well. Barrier explosion, that's this guy in the air. New input can be done on the ground. Also vulnerable on frame 1. So like a level 3, it is invincible right away. Just like say a Bardock in level 1 super. Can only be Z change, so cancel out DHC on hit. Startup reduced, 17 falls faster after the move's over. Change how the opponent is blown back. Recovery increase, ground version adjust for the opponent's height. Level 3, increased recovery, so we'll probably mess around with how Zokazeme works, hopefully for the better for him. Also increase the untech time. Change how the opponent's blown back as well. For his assist, he always had one of the wackier assists in the game. First up here, when the opponent's in the air, hit stun and close to you, he will appear further forward. Attack startup reduced, so he'll do the attack part quicker. Increase the number of hits that can be absorbed, because right now I believe it's only one, so it can get past that barrier pretty quickly. Increase the size of the counter, so that's the barrier, I'm assuming. Hit stop increase, untech time reduced, because it has less hit stun. It actually has fairly high hit stun, by the way. And the opponent is knocked back further. So cooler, first up here, stand light. So light, you can cancel timing that easier. Stand light, the second hit specifically. Startup reduce, meaning there's no more gap in between there that you can mash through. Made hurtbox shorter, made hitbox shorter as well. Light, the full auto combo. Knocks opponent back less, so they'll be closer to you when you're done. And change the effect on hit, although it doesn't say really how the effect has changed. Going onwards to stand heavy, fix the bug where the move was jump cancelable on hit, so bug fix there. Jumping light made the early hitbox of the move hit a bit higher, so it'll be a lot better in like weird scramble situations where you're trying to smack them out of the air. Going forward here, 6H, that's the low. Made the early hitbox of the move hit a bit higher up here, but lowered the overall damage. Down forward heavy, that is the anti-projectile uppercut here. Startup is faster if the opponent is closer, so you might be able to use it more in combos. Cancelable into stand S, so this guy here. So no more death on block, because it was death on block, so you can make it relatively safe on block now. Also knocks opponents less and damage is reduced, so the risk of the move is less overall, so you get a little bit less damage, but still it's good at what it was designed to do, and is a lot less risky to randomly toss it out, it would look like. Quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy, that is the dive kicks. So first up here, change the effect on cinematic hit. It doesn't really say what, but you see here, like, you just keep stomping them, right? So something about that's different. Change cancel, timing for supers, damage increase, so across the board, and move the movement of the move here adds to the damage proration to the last hit. So if I'm reading this right, the further away you do it from, it does more damage. I could be wrong on that one, though. Quarter circle forward, medium specifically, the medium version here. Reduced air version startup, which is really good because it makes it less readable in the air. Increased block stun, so this move's going to be plus on block if you're not aware. And same deal here with the EX version, increased block stun, so these moves are now advantage on block, which is a very big deal. Quarter circle back X, that is the uppercuts. So one here, Cooler falls faster after he's done the move. Knocks the opponent further back at the beginning of the move, and our air version's recoveries are increased. So just like, say Super Saiyan Vegeta, if you want to harass all day and then catch him with the invincible version of the move, then if you whiff or whatever, you're going to be able to be a little more punishable. Specifically, the light version moves further. The jumping medium version moves not as far. And also here, quarter circle forward S, startup reduced. Now, yeah, this is really good because beams are nice to have, and it's always better to have a beam than not have a beam. But his beam, as far as beams go, kind of sucked because the startup's really bad. So startup or reduce, hopefully it's more in line with, like, I don't know, like say a Super Saiyan Goku or something like that. Very nice buff for him. The level 3 air version has recovery until landing on whiff. So he will not recover instantly. And Cooler falls faster if he whiffs as well. And as for his assist, if the opponent is an air hit stun, so they're already being hit and close by, he will appear further in front than he would before. So once again, it's kind of a change for all the uppercut style assists, that they'll appear further out than they normally do. Base form Vegeta, it says here first up, wake up timing is changed. Wake up on what? Not sure, it doesn't state, unfortunately. Vanish, change the opponent's position during cinematic. Once again, they're not very specific on it. First up here, 2S, so that's the wacky woodle key blast he has on the ground. Early hitbox is larger, so easier to hit with. Jumping S, so that guy here. Early hitbox is larger, knocks the opponent back further, damage reduced, and landing recovery reduced. So if the opponent's knocked back further, it actually might kill mid-screen loops. I'm not sure. He's somewhat infamous for having like a key blast loop, and if that is the case, he might not be able to do it mid-screen anymore. Quarter circle forward L, that's the dive kick. So vanish window moved to later, landing recovery reduced. Once again, same with regular Super Saiyan Vegeta. The medium and EX versions changed cinematic and altered how far it moves and removes momentum from the landing, and recovery once again is reduced. Quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy. That is the teleport knee dive here. So when the opponent's an air hit stun, the startup is faster, so aka when you're comboing them. And change how the move hits when it's a cinematic hit. Also here, so specifically the light added the ability to have a cinematic hit, so aka I'm assuming like, you know, flying knockdown smash. Also here, quarter circle back S, that is his grab, this guy right here. So it says here, add a special cancel on hit, untech time increase, so more hits done, and standardized location of the opponent on hit. So that one, not too sure about. Going for his level 3 here, knocks the opponent back further, so that's definitely a nerf to mid-screen Oki. If that's the case, if they're going to be further away, because you see, they're pretty close. And that was one of the benefits of the move. And the assist here, hit stop on hit, has been increased. Base form Goku. So once again here, has the advantage change a lot of people have. Stand light, second hit of the auto combo, the knee. Change how the opponent is blown back on hit. Currently, straight upwards. They don't say really how far. Other than moves less far, the move itself moves less far. And reduce untech time, so less hits done. Stand light, that's this guy here. Recovery standardized, doesn't say how. Startup decrease, so it'll come out faster. That's pretty handy. Stand heavy, that's the boot. Change how the opponent's blown back on hit. Doesn't state how that's going to be though, sadly. Now 2S and 2SS, that's the Shang Tsung fireballs here. Change how the opponent's blown back. Increase the cancel window on whiff, that's very handy. Increase the untech time, that's the hit stun. And change the location of the key blast. So, it doesn't say how. You can have some control over this. So if you like down back, it's close. You down, it's medium. Down forward, it's far. So maybe the medium one's a little different. Not really fully sure. Now if you go for the whole thing here and get the dive kick ender, effect on cinematic hit has changed. Made the key blast disappear with cinematic. Added special cancel. And also change how the opponent's blown back. My understanding is you'll get a sliding knockdown now if you get the third hit, and then you can kind of get like an actual super afterwards, whereas currently you cannot. Jumping H, this guy right here. Change how the opponent's blown back, doesn't state how though, sadly. Jump 2H moves further, just like all the other Gokus. Jumping S, this guy here. Increase early hitbox size here, just like all the other Gokus. Quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy, that is his shoulder checks. So first up here, it says change how the opponent's blown back and moves further, so just that's a straight buff. Reduce untech time, so less hits done. Hit stop on hit has been increased. Keeps the opponent grounded on grounded hit, so I guess that means no more launching him. I guess keeps him standing. Change the effect on cinematic hit, and the air version specifically has increased recovery. The medium and EX versions of the move says here it has invulnerability partway through. That's pretty handy. Damage increased. Damage proration also increased. So if we start a combo with it, it's going to do a little less damage. Now quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy. That is the Chuck. Change effect on hit. Doesn't say what. Hopefully it's for the better, because this command grab's pretty anemic to say the least. Quarter circle forward. Yes, that is Kamehameha. So one here says startup reduce. Of the beams, because it's a single hit, you don't have a lot of time to hit confirm off it, so faster startup certainly helps. The air diagonal one, so where he's aiming downwards, change how the opponent's blown back. Untech time increase, so more hits done, or sorry, more like, you know, delay when you hit him, so easier time to hit confirm off it, that kind of stuff, because it is a single hit, not a multi-hit. And sliding knockdown on hit, that is super cool. That's very unique for a beam attack. Quarter circle back ass, that is his spirit ball charge here. So, startup reduced, added a special cancel on hit, and changed the effect on cinematic hit. So making this move better is just better, because it was kind of outside of a very specific combo route. The only way you can combo solo into a spirit bomb. So very interesting stuff, to say the least. Level 1 super Kaioken. Made it so it can't be followed up on cinematic hit other than other supers. Fixed a bug that changed the minimum damage value and increased the block stun on the L follow-up specifically, that is the overhead. Kaioken Venture will autocorrect face the opponent. Level 3, that is the big old spare bomb. Startup is decreased, meaning it's faster, so you might be able to get it off new combos you can never get it before. It moves faster, the ball itself will move faster. Change where the attack starts, maybe not as high up on the screen, not sure. Fixed a bug that changed the minimum damage value. And finally, his assist. So increase untech time, so more hits on when it connects. Increase hit stop on hit, and when the opponent is in the air, hits done close, he appears further in front, so closer to the foe to connect. Zamasu, so going here, stand light, and down medium here, all faster on the frame count, so they'll all be 1 frame faster is my understanding. Stand light light, second hit of the auto combo. Cancel window is decreased into the full auto combo. Full auto combo. The final hit is now a true throw. So it is a hit throw right now that you can block. It'll be a true throw. Startup decrease, active frames decrease, and change how far he moves. I'm assuming maybe a little further forward considering it's now a grab. Keeping forward here, down H, not one of the better ones, let's put it that way. Startup is increased, so it's slower, but the hitbox is also increased to make up for it, because the range on it is not the best, as you can see here. Not to say a lot of characters don't have awesome ones, you know, some other people, they have bad ones too, but still, increasing the range, that's awesome. Jump down heavy, this guy here. Cinematic hit on airborne opponents. Change the effect on cinematic hit. Not sure how that's going to work out. Startup increased. Quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy. That is the chop chop. So increased damage, increased knockback. Now specifically the heavy version. Change effect on cinematic hit. So I guess if it's like hitting solo or sliding knockdown. Change the effect of the S follow up. So you can cancel into a flight, just so you know. And the startup is increased. Quarter circle backlight, medium heavy. That is the lightning orbs here. So hit stop on hit is increased and the block stun is reduced. So less shenanigans with it on a blocking opponent needs to look like. Quarter circle forward S, that is the big old chop, and if you hold it, it gets a projectile. So startup is decreased, so it'll be quicker. Recovery is decreased. Change the way the opponent's blown back. Damage increased. Change effect on cinematic hit. Key blast hitbox increased. It's already really good, by the way. In the air version, movement distance change and has a set height when done low to the ground. So all in all, this move is just better. So that's pretty dang handy. Jumping S, untech time increased. So more hit stun. Added a cancel from jumping S to jumping 2S, so we go like this. And I guess it'll be easier to do. Change the effect of quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy on hit. Quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy comes out even when the button's on held, and the window for that is button hold is longer. Now also quarter circle forward HS, that is the Hell Zone grenade here. Moves further, effect on hit change, doesn't say how though. When near a corner, he'll move backwards, so I guess he's not going to be directly in your face when he does it. And also it says here, fix the bug that changed the minimum damage value for the move. Quarter circle forward, light, medium, that is the regular level 1 super. Fixed a bug that allowed attacks to land during cinematic time freeze. That was a very old bug we covered on channel a long time ago, so I guess that's fixed. The level 3, change how the opponent's blown back. Recovery increased. If the opponent is in hit stun, the startup is faster, so it'll be easier to combo because the startup's a little slow. And you can do longer combos where it would honestly just miss, so I guess that'll be better now. And Zamasu will fall to the ground faster after the move's done, just like many other characters. Assist, untech times increase, so more hit stun. Hit stop on hit increase, and change how the opponent is blown back. Vegito, so first up here, advanced changes like many people have. The auto combo throw ender is increased the range, just like many other characters as well. Standing S, that's this guy here. Remove the ability to Z, cancel Z change. With the 6S follow-up whiffs, that is bug fix, covered that in an old video. Untech time increase, so more hit stun. Hit stop increase, and recover is longer when the move connects. Jumping H, this guy right here, so damage is reduced, so I guess slight nerf to some combo damage. Down S, that is the big old sword here. So remove the down S, 5S chain, so that is gone apparently, can't cancel into that. Untech time increased, inputting S during the cinematic gives you a cancel on the super dash, so you'll just automatically super dash like that. Reduced meter gain, change it where the opponent will go on hit. Jumping S, big old sword, change how the opponent's blown back, increase untech time. Inputting S during the cinematic will give you an automatic cancel into a homing dash, just like the other one. Reduce meter gain, just move, all the sword moves get stupid amount of meter gain if you're not aware, so that's a nerf to that, and change where the opponent goes on hit. Quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy. Change the knockback. Doesn't state how it's going to change it though, sadly. Damage increase, proration increase. Move goes not as far currently as it does right now. The ground diversion motion on hit is changed. Doesn't state how or why though. Removes the ground diversion's landing recovery, so he'll recover right away as soon as he touches the ground. The ground diversion's first hit is reflected. The move will act differently, so if you get the first part, the rest isn't just going to hit you in the face, I assume. The aerial version moves upwards if the opponent is above Vegito. That is very interesting. And the medium version specifically, startup is decreased, so the move will come up faster. Quarter circle back X, so that's light, medium, heavy. That is the anti-air grabs. Change the distance it's moved. Change to the throw range itself, so I'm assuming it's a bigger hitbox on it. Startup decreased, recovery decreased, so just better in that regard. Added recovery until landing on hit, so you see here, like I can just kind of do whatever after whiffs, right? So we're gonna have to have a little bit of recovery now. And the effect on hit is currently changed. Quarter circle back S, that's counter. Change the movement on successful counter, doesn't say how though. And change throw range also doesn't say how. Hopefully further, because that's just better. The level 3, just like all the Vegetas, you will now no longer be able to air tech out if it's done in the air. If you get hit by it, you're going to fall to the ground, sliding, knockdown, all that stuff. No more air recovery. Broly, medium auto combo, change the content, so I guess doing something different, cancel into a different move and do shoulder or something like that. Stand light, 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 so that's this guy right here. So now able to combo into a Z change, because he can't right now. Down medium, change how the opponent's blown back. Hopefully that's far, that'd be nice. Stand H, damage increase when the button is held. Oh, that's so good. I love it. I use this all the time because it's actually one of his better moves. Because you're trying to bait out homing dashes and and have people bounce off your chest with the armor. So more damage. Hey, awesome. All for it. Jumping tech. Jumping H. There we go. Untech time on cinematic hit increased. So I'm assuming that's this version right here. Because they get to come up almost right away. So they're going to be in hit stun a little bit longer than they currently are. Jumping down heavy, cinematic hit when the hit's airborne. Kind of already has that. So not sure what that means unless it just lets it always happen. Jumping S can alter the angle at which a ki blast upwards shoot. So I'm assuming that means you have two angles. You can shoot it from jumping just like you can on the ground. Like you have straight and you have upwards. So maybe you can do the same for the air version. That'd be cool. Quarter circle 4, medium and heavy, damage increased. That was nerfed. One of the first patches the game ever had, their damage on those two moves. So I'm assuming it's going to go back to the old values. And specifically, the heavy version changes how the opponent is blown back. Quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy, that's the grab. Movement distant changed. I'm not sure how. Maybe it's the forward movement after the grab. Quarter circle back, light, startup is decreased. Oh my god, that's such a good change, by the way. Heavy, EX damage increase. Not much value to using the heavy, because if like you miss and you burn the bar, it kind of sucked. Like it, it's a little bit less damage. It's always better to do medium and just follow up with vanish afterwards, just because it's safer and you don't only burn bar if you had the sure hit. So if the raw damage on the X is better, then that's going to be very interesting. Jumping, quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy. That is the air grabs. Effect on hit has changed. And added a buffer for vanish and sparking. So effect on hit change. I can only hope it means it's closer to you when you do it. That's really all I can really hope for. The medium version startup increase. That's a nerf. It's very specifically, I think, to kind of curb Tiger Knee air grabs. So they're not as effective as they currently are. And the EX version damage is reduced. Now, also going to his level 1. His level 1 can absorb more hits because it is armored, just like many of his moves. Quarter circle forward HS, so that is the level 1, and both button presses are both level 1. But just like his delay level 3, it's getting a new property. It's just, it doesn't really say what it is, other than changes how it acts. Level 3 fixed a bug where the minimum damage changed, so it's a bug fix. Level 3, the quick version, Broly falls faster after the move's over. That's awesome, so it'll give him more plus frames for Oki, because he kind of has none as it currently stands. The delay version, it says here air version startup is decreased. So it might come out a little quicker. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And as for his assist, hit stop on hit is increased, but the untech time is decreased. So if you're using it in long combos, they're going to be hit stun a little bit less. That's a slight nerf. So Bardock. Bardock's been nerfed God knows how many times. Doesn't really affect him. Is it going to affect him this time? Hey, let's find out, right? So jump M. Hit stop on first hits decreased. Jumping S. Change the way the opponent's blown back. Doesn't really say it how though, sadly. And reduce the landing recovery. Course will go back, light, medium, heavy, spin to win. Change the conditions for a cinematic hit. Like right there, that'd be the final connection here. That'd be the cinematic hit. Change movement distance and increased recovery. Quarter circle back light specifically, air version startup decreased. And the medium version, air version startup is increased. Quarter circle forward medium and the follow-up to the EX version here. Change the effect on a cinematic hit, making it so the second hit is the ground version will whiff on grounded opponents. So I guess if you don't connect with the first hit, the second hit won't be able to connect on a grounded opponent. I guess that's the way I'm reading it. When the air version hits an airborne opponent, it will not go down to the ground. And when the hitbox is increased for the first hit of the aerial version here, so that's the dive bomb version right there. Quarter circle forward LM in the air, aiming downwards. That guy right there. Increase the Z change to AC window. Added a ground bounce. Hit stop is decreased and minimum damage is decreased. Quarter circle forward HS here. That is the this guy right here, the invincible level 1. So recovery is increased, so it's less safe. Change the hitbox and fix the bug where the minimum damage was changed. And finally, level 3. Add a recovery until landing on the air version. So if you whiff, then that's all she wrote. You gotta basically wait and land. No more movement. So long story short, Bardock still Bardock. 21 got some changes here. So first up here, the wake up timing thing, she got that as well. So stand light and down light. Startup decreased. So I'm assuming that means they're both going to be 6 framers. That's pretty nuts. Down M, recovery increase. The untech time on the long range version is increased, so be a little bit more before they can recover, and change how the opponent's blown back on the long range version. Down S, that's this guy here. Startup is decreased, so it comes out quicker. That's pretty handy, and recovery also decreased, so this move will be more valuable to use. Jump heavy, startup increase, so it might potentially knock out some of the touch of death combos. Jumping S, change how the opponent's blown back. Quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy. That is the dive kicks here, the dive bombs. So does not hit behind her anymore, so no more weird cross-up setups with it. Movement distance is changed. Change how the opponent's blown back. Untech time on the first hit is increased. Hit stop on the last hit is increased. Recovery is increased, and the startup is decreased, so it will come up quicker than it currently does. Quarter circle back light specifically. Damage on non-cinematic hits is decreased, so if you hit close, you get that little kind of close-up there, but if you hit far away, you get that little piddly hit, so that'll be less damage. As much the same here for the medium version, there'll be less damage on hits like that. Ground version, wall sticks on cinematic hit. So, is that a wall bounce? I'm not sure. If it is, that'd be pretty handy. Quarter circle forward S, that is the grab. Moves further. Also, quarter circle forward S and quarter circle back S, that's the air version as well. Can follow up into various attacks with different button inputs on hit. So from the previous patch, you'll be able to cancel, previous preview we had, you'll be able to cancel like the knee dives and that kind of stuff here. The aerial version startups are decreased too, by the way. So all of her absorb moves are different now. So I'm just going to show them on a list here, but for the basic stuff here, they're discarded after one use, so you don't keep them permanently. They're one and dones. They can follow into various attacks with different button inputs mid-move, so I guess you can re-cancel out of them. Follow-ups transport 21 near the opponent when done. And here will be all the absorb moves change in text form. Just like many other characters, air level 3, if you whiff, there's more recovery until landing. So, it's basically a lot less safe to whiff the move. And Goku Black, last character we have up here. So first up here, stand S, untech time on sword hit increased. So that's when this specifically hits up close. So there'll be more hits done there. Knockback on the sword hit reduced, so they'll push them back less far. Projectile speed change, and once again here, if you watch the other video, you can actually control the projectile speed by holding backwards or forwards. Now jumping S here, early hitbox size increased just like the other Gokus. Quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy. Projectile levels are reduced, and they now cancel out with basic key blasts, so the projectiles are not as strong. Change in projectiles damage proration, damage reduced overall. Early hitbox size, beginning of the move increased, and ground version recovery increased. Now the light version specifically changed how the opponent's blown back on hit, and the medium version specifically, Black falls faster to the ground because he does go airborne quicker. The EX version, the projectiles will come out quicker, damage is increased, and Black will fall to the ground faster after the hit. So jumping quarter circle back, light, medium, heavy, that's the dive kicks. So will not hit behind Black anymore, the hitbox is fixed on that. Hit back is reduced, fall speed increased on hit, landing recovery increase, and hit effect cinematic has been changed. The light version hit stop is decreased. The medium version startup is decreased, so the move will start up faster than it currently does. Damage is decreased though to make up for it, but it potentially can give you whole new combo routes and change how the opponent is blown back. The EX version damage proration is increased, so if you start the combo with it, it's going to be doing less damage overall, and fix the bug where some damage could be recoverable. Quarter circle back S, change effect on cinematic hit, doesn't say what's going to change to though, and damage is increased. This is always one of his trickier moves, but really, other than just going for like raw level 3 or a vanish, even with a vanish honestly, the reward for like successfully hitting this was not that much. So more damage, hey, that's fine. Now moving forward here, quarter circle forward, LM, that's level 1 super here. Fix the bug where the minimum damage, there we go, words, damage was changed. Quarter circle forward HS, that is the Holy Light Grenade. Early hitbox size increased. Fixed the bug where the move would act weird if there was Z changing before it. Change how the opponent is blown back. Untech time increased. Recovery increased. Now, the way this is worded, it's either going to be easier or harder to get loops. Not sure which, though. Because the early hitbox might make it harder, but the untech time may make it easier. It's really hard to tell, though. They might be gone, or they might be easier than ever. I guess we're going to have to wait for the patch to find out. Level 3, just like many other airborne level 3s, if you whiff, the recovery is added to it on landing. Alright, so I'm at the end of the video here. I have no long how this is going to be in editing. Probably pretty long, though. I just want to say sincere and huge thanks to at Hiago and at Great Fernman, because without these guys, these translations would not have been possible. So sincere, huge shout outs to you guys, because you guys are the real heroes here. I know translating Japanese to English, it can leave some weird language that's a little hard to discern sometimes, and in those situations we'll have to wait for the patch to come out. But once again, thank you so much to those guys. They're the real heroes here, and that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.